This is Pastor Hoggard, pastor of Bethel Church in Festus, Missouri, and head of prophetic research ministry with another Watchman video broadcast. I'm going to start out today with just a sort of a follow-up story. Everybody knows that the situation down in the Gulf of Mexico, I mean, it's a total mess, probably going to get worse. I think today, as of when I'm recording this, you're supposed to be setting these big, I don't know, whatever things in order to try to contain the oil spill itself. But there's a lot of chatter and there's a lot of talk about what's going to happen after this. They keep talking about this is going to change everything. This is going to bring in some kind of legislation. This is going to do this. This is going to do that. And I mentioned in last week's broadcast about the fact that I believe that this was, boy, you hate to just say that, well, this guy did it here or this guy did it here. I believe in a conspiracy. But I believe more in a spiritual conspiracy than I do anything, and I believe men are involved in that. And so we talked about that in the last broadcast, and I was reading over some of the stories this week concerning the oil spill out in the Gulf of Mexico. Here it is, crews prepared to take oil contraption to Gulf. And it says the 12-man crew is making final preparations to take a 100-ton contraption. I like how they word things in these news articles here, to the Gulf of Mexico to help funnel out oil spewing from the bottom of the sea. And I'm going to move on down in the article a little bit because here is some verification of what I said in last week's Watchman broadcast. The box is the latest idea engineers from oil giant BP PLC are trying after an oil rig the company was operating exploded April 20th, killing, now here it is, 11 workers. It sank 2 days later. Now I want you to get this because in the last broadcast, you need to watch this, you need to get a copy of the Babel Conspiracy, which I've got some news. I finally have, I was going to wait till the end of the broadcast, but I can't wait. We finally have in book form the book called The Babel Conspiracy. It is 164 pages full of conspiracy theories. It deals with the Tower of Babel, Genesis chapter 11, numerical signatures, and so on. I want to recommend also the video that goes with it, and we'll talk more about those. I've got another one here I want to talk about here as we get into the broadcast. But anyway, following patterns that I believe are laid out. Remember, April 20th is the 110th day of the year. That is 11 times 10. The World Trade Towers were exactly 110 stories tall. There's a lot more that goes into this, and I don't want to reiterate that because I got some other things I want to talk about today. But the fact that it took place on April 20th and the fact that exactly 11 people died. Now, I don't think for a minute that if this is conspiratorially related, which I believe it is, that men are powerful enough to pull off something like this. I believe that spirits are involved. But anytime this number 11 shows up, there is a change coming. There's something. It represents sort of a number of transformation. The number 11 in the Bible represents confusion, chaos, disorder. I mean, that's what you have in the Gulf of Mexico. But anyway, and this is not one of those, see, I was right. I told you I was right. This is not one of those things at all. I'm just, you know, I'm here to tell people. I'm here to warn people. I'm sort of a watchman on the wall. That's what we call the broadcast. A watchman on the wall. And God over the years has trained me to see things. In other words, to see signs, to see symbols, to see significant events. I guess that's what it takes. I never dreamed I would end up doing something like this, but that's just what God said. And so anyway, got some other things I want to talk about. This came out in WorldNet Daily. In fact, there is a book that is coming out, and I think it would be a good read. I don't have a copy of it, but I think it would be a good read. It's called 1 Second After. Jazz, our webmaster down in Ozark, Missouri, in her secret IT compound in Ozark, Missouri, which I don't even know where it's at. Anyway, she sent me a link to a YouTube video. You can YouTube this. This guy's got several videos on there. The book, I think it's written in novel form. It's called 1 Second After. And he deals with the concept of what would happen if an electromagnetic pulse or a nuclear bomb was detonated somewhere up in the upper stratosphere or whatever, and emitting an electronic or electromagnetic pulse that would just basically radiate over the entire United States. And he basically says life would be different 1 second after this happened. Here is an article out of WorldNet Daily It says EMP could leave 9 out of 10 Americans dead. There is renewed alarm about the possibility of an EMP attack, electromagnetic pulse, in the United States because of Iran's work on a multi-stage space launch vehicle, according to a report from Joseph Fair's G2 Bulletin. And experts forecast if such an attack were a success, it could effectively overthrow or throw the U.S. back into an age of agriculture. I want you to think about this, and I want you to just ponder this in your mind for a while. What this would do. What exactly, if an electromagnetic pulse were detonated over the United States of America, it would essentially wipe out electricity as we know it for an extended period of time. Hang on a second. Isn't that what the environmentalists want? Anyway, I want to keep going because I want you to get this in your mind. Within a year of that attack, 9 out of 10 Americans would be dead because we can't support a population of the present size in urban centers and the like without electricity, said Frank Gaffney, president of the Center for Security Policy. And that is exactly what I believe the Iranians are working towards. The article goes on to say a recent launch of an SLV by Iran has sparked renewed concern of an attack that could send an electromagnetic pulse powerful enough to wipe out computer controls for systems on which society has come to rely, officials say. As the G2 Bulletin reported last week, Ronald Burgess, director of the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency, that is an oxymoron there, revealed that Iran has successfully launched a multi-stage SLV, the Simorg, whatever that is. The device ultimately could be equipped with a nuclear bomb, which the U.S. intelligence community assesses Iran is developing. Officials also report Iran has been testing detonation of its nuclear-capable missiles by remote control while still in high-altitude flight. The development makes a potential EMP attack on the U.S. more probable. And again, I want you to think about this because, I know that I've dealt with this before. I know I've dealt with it. In fact, I am going to do this. This last month, we was in Harrison, Arkansas, and I recorded a new video down there called Baphomet, the God of Transformation. Now, if you're not on our watchers list, you won't get this. We sent that out. In fact, we just mailed out our package yesterday, which was Thursday, your time, my time. But anyway, I dealt with that in this video. I dealt with themes, and I know I've talked about it before on this broadcast and other things, because to me, I see some things going on. I preached a sermon here a while back called Where Dragons Live. And if you don't have a copy of that, if you get in touch with our ministry, we'll get you a copy of it. And I dealt with it from a spiritual aspect. You know, the devil, if you read the Bible, the devils like to live where nobody else is. And I will tell you that there is from the environmentalist concern, there is a move afoot to rid most of mankind off of the land. And that all goes back to the Bible. God gave man dominion over the land. The earth is characterized as a woman. She's Gaia, Mystery Babylon the Great, and she hates the fact that men have domination over her, so she says, I'll get rid of all the men. I'll get rid of all the people off of me, and then I'll be in control of nature. And that's that spirit that you see all throughout the Scriptures. Mystery Babylon represents the transfer of authority. As long as man is fulfilling his, as long as man is on the earth, God has given him dominion over the earth. But we know that the devil wants that. He wants dominion, wants to sit on God's throne. And so Mystery Babylon basically is going to enable that for him, just like Jezebel got Naboth's vineyard. There it is. She got Naboth off of it, and now she transferred authority of the vineyard from Naboth over to Ahab. That is a prophecy. That is what is going to happen. And you know, they started talking about nuclear bombs and nuclear detonations and dirty bombs and things like that. But I take seriously this idea of electromagnetic pulse. I mean, you have to stop and think that how would your life change if an EMP blast took out most of the electrical systems, electronic systems, the electrical grid from the United States of America? Number one, we would be vulnerable immediately to whatever nation wanted to attack us. It would bring this country down to its knees,